ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीवशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरि बोल। जय श्री प्रभुपाद।
Prabhu, thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Bhaktajan, Dandat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, dear Bhaktajat, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, we just watched the video of yours preaching, distributing books. It was such a nice experience to see you again in video.
On a 800 centres dans le monde.
Actually, there is this one is better one. Oh, you just saw this video right now, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, it's so nice.
Oh, this guy, he only had one coin on him, so he gave me all his fortune, we can say. And
Yes, Prabhu. Hari Bol.
actually, all day long, I was with Manu Prabhu. I was speaking with him while distributing because it was raining, crazy winds, no one in the street.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
he's the only guy who took a book today.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I approached only 3 people, and then right now it is raining like crazy outside.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
what to do? At least he got his book and he really liked the dream. He said, "Oh, I want a magazine about dreams." I
Yes,
said, "Oh,
Prabhu.
you take this one."
Yeah,
There is
this is
a
very nice.
whole page on. So, and
This
we
was
have
the
many
best.
videos like that, Prabhus. We have many videos like that, and soon we will put English subtitles to show the devotees what to do in which situation. Not that we copy past what we do, but to like it's not difficult. The mind is telling it's difficult, but it is not. You see, the videos are only 1 minute, 1.5 minutes.
Yes, Prabhu.
From the beginning to the end, it's very short. So like that, we can see.
Hari Bol. That's really
Fine.
nice. Okay, so today we're gonna read chapter 23, the killing of Dantavakra, Vidurata, and Romaharshana. After the demise of Shishupala, Shalva, and Poundra, another foolish demoniac king of the name Dantavakra wanted to kill Krishna in order to avenge the death of his friend Shalva. He became so agitated that he personally appeared on the battlefield without the proper arms and ammunition, and without even a chariot. His only weapon was his great anger, which was red hot. He carried only a club in his hand, but he was so powerful that when he moved, everyone felt the earth tremble. When Lord Krishna saw him approaching in a very heroic mood, he immediately got down from his chariot, for it was a rule of military etiquette that fighting should take place only between equals. Knowing that Dantavakra was alone and armed with only a club, Lord Krishna responded similarly and prepared himself by taking his club in his hand. When Krishna appeared before him, Dantavakra's heroic march was immediately stopped, just as the great furious waves of the ocean are stopped by the beach. At that time, Dantavakra, who was the king of Karusha, stood up firmly with his club and spoke to Lord Krishna as follows. It is a great pleasure and fortunate opportunity, Krishna, that we are facing each other eye to eye. My dear Krishna, after all, you are my eternal cousin, and I should not kill you in this way, but unfortunately you have committed a great mistake by killing my friend Shalva. Moreover, you are not satisfied by killing my friend, but I know that you want to kill me also. Because of your determination, I must kill you by tearing you into pieces with my club. Krishna, although you are my relative, you are foolish. You are our greatest enemy, so I must kill you today, just as a person removes a boil on his body by a surgical operation. I am always very much obliged to my friends, and I therefore consider myself indebted to my dear friend Shalva. I can only liquidate my indebtedness to him by killing you. Garibald wants to continue.
I can also continue. Just give me like a few moments, just a few moments.
Yes, bro.
So where did we leave off, Prabhu? I can't see it on the screen. Okay. As the caretaker of an elephant tries to control the animal by striking it with his trident, so Dantavakra tried to control Krishna simply by speaking strong words. After finishing his vituperation, he struck Krishna on the head with his club and made a roaring sound like a lion. Although struck strongly by the club of Dantavakra, Krishna did not move even an inch, nor did he feel any pain. Taking his Kaumadaki club and moving very skillfully, Krishna struck the chest of Dantavakra so fiercely that the heart of Dantavakra split in twain. As a result, Dantavakra began to vomit blood. His hairs became scattered and he fell to the ground, spreading his hands and legs. Within only a few minutes, all that remained of Dantavakra was a dead body on the ground. After the death of Dantavakra, just as at the time of Shishupal's death, in the presence of all persons standing there, a small particle of spiritual effulgence came out of the demon's body and very wonderfully merged into the body of Lord Krishna. Dantavakra had a brother named Vidur. Ah, Dantavakra had a brother named Vidurath, who became overwhelmed with grief at the death of Dantavakra. Out of grief and anger, Vidurath was breathing very heavily, and just to avenge the death of his brother, he also appeared before Lord Krishna with a sword and a shield in his hands. He wanted to kill Krishna immediately. When Lord Krishna understood that Vidurath was looking for the opportunity to strike him with his sword, he employed his Sudarshan Chakra, his disc, which was as sharp as a razor, and without delay he cut off the head of Vidurath with its helmet and earrings. In this way, after killing Shalva and destroying his wonderful airplane and then killing Dantavakra and Vidurath, Lord Krishna at last entered his city, Dwarka. It would not have been possible for anyone but Krishna to kill these great heroes, and therefore all the demigods from heaven and the human beings on the surface of the globe were glorifying him. Great sages and ascetics, the denizens of the Siddha and Gandharva planets, the denizens known as Vidyadhars, Vasuki, and the Mahanags, the beautiful angels, the inhabitants of Pitralok, the Yakshas, the Kinnaras, and the Charanas all began to shower flowers upon him and sing the songs of his victory in great jubilation. Decorating the entire city very festively, the citizens of Dwarka held a great celebration. And when Lord Krishna passed through the city, of all the members of the Rishi dynasty and the heroes of the Yadu dynasty followed him with great respect. These are some of the transcendental pastimes of Lord Krishna, who is the master of all mystic power and the lord of all cosmic manifestations. Those who are fools, who are like animals, sometimes think that Krishna is defeated, but factually he is the supreme personality of Godhead, and no one can defeat him. He always remains victorious over everyone. He is the only one God, and all others are his subservients, order carriers. Once upon a time, Lord Balaram heard that there was an arrangement being made for a fight between the two rival parties in the Guru dynasty, one headed by Duryodhan and the other headed by the Pandavas. He did not like the idea that he was to be only a mediator to stop the fighting. Finding it unbearable not to take an active part on behalf of either of the parties, he left Dwaraka on the plea of visiting various holy places of pilgrimage. He first of all visited the place of pilgrimage known as Prabhas Kshetra. He took his baths there and he pacified the local Brahmanas and offered oblations to the demigods, Pittas, great sages, and people in general, in accordance with Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. That is the Vedic method of visiting holy places. After this, accompanied by some respectable Brahmanas, he decided to visit different places on the bank of the river Saraswati. He gradually visited such places as Prithudak, Bindusar, Tritakup, Sudarshanatirth, Vishalatirth, Brahmatirth, and Chakratirth. Besides these, he also visited all the holy places on the bank of Saraswati River, running toward the east. After this, he visited all the principal holy places on the bank of the Yamuna and on the bank of the Ganges. Thus, he gradually came to the holy place known as Naimisharanya. This holy place, Naimisharanya, is still existing in India, and in ancient times it was especially used for the meetings of great sages and saintly persons with the aim of understanding spiritual life and self realization. When Lord Balaram visited that place, there was a great sacrifice being performed by a great assembly of transcendentalists. Such meetings were planned to last thousands of years. When Lord Brahma arrived, all the participants of the meeting, great sages, ascetics, brahmanas, and learned scholars, immediately arose from their seats and welcomed him with great honor and respect. Some offered him respectful obeisances, and those who were elderly great sages and brahmanas offered him blessings by standing up. After this formality, Lord Balaram was offered a suitable seat, and everyone present worshipped him. Everyone in the assembly stood up in the presence of Balaram because they knew him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Education or learning means to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, although Lord Balaram appeared on the earth as a Kshatriya, all the Brahmanas and sages stood up because they knew who Lord Balaram was. Anyone wants to continue? Okay, I'll continue then.
I can.
Okay, Prabhu, you can do.
Okay. You can go on, like, if you.
No, Prabhu, you can continue. We give everyone a chance.
Hare Krishna, Ananda Krishna Das. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Ananta Krishna,
Please
Das
accept
Prabhu,
my
Nityananda,
humble
Jai Shri
Prabhupada.
Sure. You can read Prabhu if you are free.
You can also read, Prabhu. I just read, so I'm just giving you a chance.
You continue, Prabhu. I will do later. You continue.
Sorry, Prabhu.
You continue, Prabhu. I will do later. You continue.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Unfortunately, after being worshipped and seated in at his place, Lord Balarama was Romaharshana, the disciple of Vyasadeva, the literary incarnation of Godhead, still sitting on the Vyasasana. He had neither gotten up from his seat nor offered him respects. Because he was seated on the Vyasasana, he foolishly thought himself greater than the Lord. Therefore, he did not get down from his seat or bow down before the Lord Balarama then considered the history of Romaharshana. He was born in a Suta family or a mixed family, born of a Brahmana woman and a Kshatriya man. Therefore, although Romaharshana considered Balarama a Kshatriya, he should not have remained sitting on a higher seat. Lord Balarama considered that Romaharshana, according to his position by birth, should not have accepted the higher sitting position because there were many learned Brahmanas and sages present. He also observed that Romaharshana not only did not come down from his exalted seat, but he did not even stand up and offer his respects when Balaramji entered the assembly. Lord Balarama did not like the audacity of Romaharshana, and he became very angry with him. When a person is seated on a Vyasasana, he does not generally have to stand up to receive a particular person entering the assembly. But in this case, the situation was different because Lord Baladev is not an ordinary human being. Therefore, although Romaharshana Sutta was voted to the Vyasasana by all the Brahmanas, he should have followed the behavior of other learned sages and Brahmanas who were present and should have known that Lord Balarama is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Respects are always due to him. Even though such respects can be avoided in the case of an ordinary man, the appearance of Krishna and Balarama are especially meant for re-establishment of the religious principles as stated in Bhagavad Gita. The highest religious principle is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is also confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the topmost perfection of religiousness is to be engaged in devotion engaged in the devotion service of the Lord. When Lord Balarama was the saw that the Ramarshana Sutta did not understand the highest principle of religiousness. In spite of having studied all the Vedas, he suddenly could not support his position. Ramarshana Sutta had been given a chance to become a perfect Brahmana, but because of his ill behavior in his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his low birth was immediately remembered. Ramarshana Sudha had been given the position of a Brahmana, but he had not been born in the family of Brahmana. He had been born in a Pratiloma family. According to the Vedic concept, there are two kinds of mixed family heritage. They are called Anuloma and Pratiloma. When a male is united with a female of a lower caste, the of offsprings is called Anuloma. But when a male unites with a woman of a higher caste, the offsprings is called Pratiloma. Romarshana Sutta belonged to the Pratiloma family because his father was Kshatriya and his mother his mother a Brahmana. Because Romarshana's transcendental realization was not perfect, Lord Balarama remembered his Pratiloma heritage. The idea is that any man can be given the chance to become a Brahmana, but if he improperly uses the position of a Brahmana without actual realization, then his elevation to the Brahminical position is not valid. After seeing the deficiency of realization in Brahmarshana Sutta, Lord Balarama decided to chastise him for being puffed up. Lord Balarama therefore said, "This man is liable to be awarded the death punishment because although he has the good qualification of being a disciple of Lord Vyasadeva and although he has studied all the Vedic literature from this exalted personality, he was not submissive in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, a person who is actually Brahmana and is very learned must automatically become very gentle also. In the case of Romarshana Sutta, although he was a very learned and had been given the chance to become a Brahmana, he had not become gentle. From this, we can understand that when he's puffed up by material acquisition, he cannot acquire the gentle behavior befitting a decorate uh, be, befitting a Brahmana. The learning of such a person is as good as a value well decorating the hoard of a serpent. Serpent. Despite the valuable jewel on the hood, a serpent is still a serpent and is as fearful as an ordinary serpent. If a person does not become meek and humble, all his studies of the Vedas and Puranas and his vast knowledge in the Shastras become simply outward dress, like the costume of a theoretical artist dancing on the stage. Lord Balarama began to consider those. I have appeared in order to chastise false persons who are internally impure but externally pose themselves to be very learned and religious. My killing of such persons is proper to check them from further sinful activity. Okay. Lord Balarama had avoided taking part in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and yet, because of his position, the re-establishment of religious principles was his prime duty. Considering these points, he killed Romarshana Sutta simply by striking him with a kusa straw, which was nothing but a blade of grass. If someone questions how Lord Balarama could kill Romarshana Sutta simply by striking him with a blade of Kushagrass, the answer is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam by the use of the word Prabhu, Master. The Lord's position is always transcendental, and because he is omnipotent, he can act as he likes without being obliged to the material laws and principles. Thus, it was possible for him to kill Romarshana simply by striking him with a blade of kusha grass. At the death of Romarshana everyone present became much aggrieved, and there was roaring and crying. Although all the brahmanas and sages they knew Lord Balarama to be the supreme personality of God. They did not hesitate to protest the Lord's action, and they humbly submitted. Our dear Lord, we think that your action is not in line with the religious principles. Dear Lord Yadunandana, we may inform you were sorry. We may inform you that we Brahmanas posted Romarshana Sutta on that exalted position for the duration of this great sacrifice. He was seated on the Vyasasana by our election, and when he is seated on the Vyasasana, it is improper for him to stand up to receive a person. Moreover, we awarded Romarshana Sutta an undisturbed duration of life. Under the circumstances, since your lordship has killed him without knowing all these facts, we think that your action has been equal to that of killing a Brahmana. Dear Lord, deliverer of all fallen souls, we know certainly that you are the knower of all Vedic principles. You are the master of all mystic powers. Therefore, ordinarily the Vedic injunctions cannot be applied to your personality, but we request that you show your causeless mercy upon others by kindly atoning for this killing of Romarshana Sutta. We do not, however, suggest what kind of act you should perform to atone for killing him. We simply suggest that some method of atonement be adopted by you so that others may follow your action. What is done by a great personality is followed by the ordinary man. The Lord replied, "Yes, I must atone for this action, which may have been proper for me, but is improper for others. Therefore, I think it is my duty to execute a suitable act of atonement uh, enjoined in the authorized scriptures. Simultaneously, I can also give these Romans life again with a strong direction, sufficient strength, and full power of the senses. Not only this, if you desire, I shall be glad to award him anything else which you may ask. I shall be very glad to grant all these boons in order to fulfill your desires." This statement of the Lord Balarama definitely confirms that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is free to act in any way, although it may be considered that his killing of Romarshana Sutta was improper. He could immediately contract the action with greater profit to all. Therefore, one should do not imitate the actions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One should simply follow the instructions of the Lord. All the great learned sages present realized that although they considered the action of Lord Balarama to be improper, the Lord was able to immediately compensate with greater profits, not wanting to dereact, detract from the mission of the Lord in killing Romarchana Sutta. All of them prayed, "Oh dear Lord, the uncommon use of your Kusha weapon to kill Romarchana Sutta may remain as it is. Because of your desire to kill him, he should not be brought to life again. At the same time, your lordship may remember that we sages and the Brahmanas voluntarily gave him a long life. Therefore, such a benediction should not be nullified. Thus, the request of all the learned Brahmanas in the assembly was ambiguous because they wanted to keep intact the benediction given by the that Ramarshana Sutta would continue to live until the end of the great sacrifice. But at the same time, they did not want to nullify Brahmanas killing him. The Supreme Personality of Godhead therefore solved the problems in a manner befitting his exalted position and said, because the Son is produced from the body of the Father, it is the injunction of the Vedas that the Son is the Father's representative. Therefore, I say that Ugraswara, sorry, Ugraswara, Grasrava, Grasrava, like Sutta, the son of Ramarsana Sutta, should henceforth take his father's position and continue the discourse on the Puranas. And because you wanted Romarsana to have a long duration of life, this benediction will be transferred to his son. The son, Ugrasarva, will therefore have all the facilities you offered long duration of life in a good and healthy body without any disturbance and full strength of all the senses. Lord Balarama then implored all the sages and brahmanas that aside from the benediction offered to the son of Romarshana, they should ask from him any other benediction, and he would be prepared to fulfill it immediately. The Lord thus placed himself in the position of an ordinary Kshatriya and informed the sages that he did not know in what way he could atone for his killing of Ramarshana, but whatever they would suggest, he could be glad to accept. The Brahmanas could understand the purpose of the Lord, and those they suggested that he atone for his action in a manner which could be beneficial for them. They said, "O dear Lord, there is a demon of the name Balwa, Balav, Balwala, Balwala, like he is the son of uh, sorry, what is Ilwala. But he is a very powerful demon, and he visits the sacred place of sacrifice where every fourth night on the full moon and moonless days, and creates a great disturbance to the discharge of our duties in the sacrifice. O descendant of the Dasara family, we all request you to kill this demon. We think that if you kindly kill him, that will be your atonement on our behalf. The demon occasionally comes here and profusely throws upon us contaminated, impure things like pus, blood, stool, urine, and wine, and he pollutes this sacred place by showering such filth upon us. After killing Balwala, you may continue touring all these sacred places of pilgrimage for 12 months, and in that way, you will be completely freed from all contamination. That is our prescription. Those ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 23rd chapter of Krishna, the killing of Dantavakra, Viduratha, and Romarshana. Prabhu. Thank you
Haribo.
so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Hare Bhang, Prabhu, Danda Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Bhagavan, Prabhu, Namaste.
Long time,
Hare
Prabhu.
Bhagavan. Shivaran Prabhu also is there.
Oh,
Hare Krishna, Shivaran
जी.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Shivransh Prabhu, Danda Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Also, please.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances of glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhu, please some humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol.
Prabhu.
Haribol Prabhu. Who is Bhakta Jat Prabhu? Bhakta Jat Prabhu.
He's there, Prabhu.
Is he there? Because I cannot see. Maybe he cannot hear.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu, now I finally reached where Bhishma is dying. He's not actually dead. He's resting on the, what do you call this? The bows. I don't know what to call them. The arrow bows, whatever.
It's the bed of arrows.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, I think we can read one more chapter.
Lebanon Prabhu, can you read?
Aribol, Prabhu. Yes, Livesh, Prabhu.
Prabhu, you can read if you want.
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah, but I'll read just 2 pages, eh? Just have to go somewhere.
Okay,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu, can you move the screen? Did you get some? Ooh, that's funny. How is the view? Can you like scroll down?
I don't know how I'm doing it. I mean, I guess I can, yeah. Oh, interesting. Zoom has
Send me,
immediately started
Prabhu.
actual screen share.
Send me, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
When last did you talk to Ero, Prabhu?
He was yesterday in the reading.
Oh, like, did Baja, was he, I don't know who is he, I forgot the name, Baja Haridas. Was he also there?
Hmm, I don't remember actually. Maybe.
Oh,
No,
yes.
I think so. No,
Yes,
Prabhu.
because
Vajra Prabhu was
Ero
not there
was
yesterday.
going through a difficult time, eh?
Hero
Yes.
Prabhu was there yesterday. Hero
Yeah.
Prabhu also
Today.
Yes.
read one page.
I need to tag him. Let's see if he appears. I
Yeah,
think.
because he had a problem.
What
And
he
then
had?
I consulted Baja Haridas.
What he had?
Now, it's like a serious problem, like emotionally,
Okay. Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
I'll send you the message.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Okay, I will cut potatoes and Uvesh Prabhu will move the screen. Ribol.
All right,
Potato
all right.
guitar. Is Bhaktaja doing Harinam Sankirtan?
He was distributing. No, not anymore because it's raining and it's really bad weather. But he was before. He shared one video. We watched it here.
Okay, Prabhu. Prabhu, what's actually the time for reading session? Because yesterday I was waiting for the reading session. When I come back from town, I see, hey, you already finished with it.
Yes, Prabhu. Yesterday it was really early.
Oh, yes, Prabhu. How, Prabhu, you have are you cooking TV today?
But Prabhu?
I'm saying you're cooking TV. It's just a
No,
sarcasm.
Prabhu. I'm making potatoes only. Today's like Ekadashi.
Oh,
Because I don't have time, so I will just make potatoes. Like the Luvet
okay, Prabhu.
picture, similar one.
What do you do with potatoes, Prabhu? Like, do you boil or do you fry them? Do you make mashed potato?
I baked the potatoes. Here they are.
Like, how do you bake them? Do you make wedges with them?
No,
Something like wedges, and then
I will just take only potatoes.
isn't it boring, Prabhu, just to take potato?
No, it
Make
tastes
pizza,
good.
Prabhu. Saturday.
You need to bake it and you put some salt and some chili pepper or some black pepper and you put some ghee, then you bake the potato and it's really good.
Oh yes, and actually, my sister is helping me with many ingredients because she's a chef.
Already?
Yeah, it's just that sometimes I'm lazy to do them because they do 100 things at once. Yo, when you cook, it's like you'll cook for 3 hours.
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
And I know when you cook for long, it's called food that is in the mode of ignorance.
No, Prabhu, it doesn't mean that. That means something that you have to prepare for a long time. Like some.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, it doesn't mean like that you cook for 3 hours and that's mode of ignorance. It doesn't mean that. It means that
Yeah,
you have some, for example, you have some canned things or how can I explain? You have some,
tin can, like the beans in the can, or which ones
no,
are
not
you
those.
referring to?
You know, sometimes they make some cucumbers in vinegar or something. They put them in vinegar and they let them stay there for many months and they become.
Oh, yeah.
So those are in the mode of ignorance. Also, some meat products they make in a way that they like it's starting to decompose in that way. So that's in the mode of any food that is starting to decompose. That's when you
In the
prepare
mode of.
in a decomposing way. That's like in the mode of ignorance.
Because like now, my sister sometimes fights, hey, because she wants to make me food. I'm like, oh, now I cannot make you food. I'm your sister. You see, all those types of things. Because before I joined, I used to like her food, because I used to call her the best cook.
Yes, Prabhu. But she needs to chant Hare Krishna and follow the principles. Then she can cook also.
And she's actually the one who listens to it because there's gonna be a ceremony at home. So like she was like, okay, I must arrange my Hare Krishna tracks, like the sounds. He wants me to do them, and he also wanted me to open up with a prayer. I'm like, what?
Oh, really? Yeah, you can make her devotee and then you can cook together.
Oh yes, Prabhu. But there's just gone one problem. Alcohol, Prabhu. Alcohol. She likes alcohol.
Yeah, that's okay.
Or we go little by little. And actually, I also have, you remember, I have like two friends inside the group. One
Yeah.
is like chanting consistently every day. Like he plays a Hare Krishna bhajan and he sings with it while he baths, you see, preparing to go to work.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, because he always tells me about the things that happened to work. Like ever since he started chanting, he tells me that his owner gives him, I don't know, what do you call this? He gives him, I forgot the word. Like when say someone you are better than everyone else at your job, a compliment.
Ah, yes.
He always receives compliments, even when he did not do anything. Like literally did not do anything. You see, he said ever since he started chanting, he's been experiencing a lot of. You see, even when he washes a car, they always say his is the best.
Hmm.
Things like that.
Yes,
So
Prabhu.
he already sees that, yeah, this mantra that you gave me has something. So he was requesting for more music, like you see, to listen every day consistently.
Yes, try to cultivate them, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. And I also sent him like Narshinga Dev.
Oh, Haribo.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you, Jai.
Because he actually does not, he's a neophyte, but then he does not even question. He just listens. He just acts. That's why I like talking to him because he never judges, eh?
See, here's a red potato. It's the best.
Oh, first time seeing red potato, Prabhu.
It's like purple and red.
Yeah, I see, Prabhu.
Yes,
So,
Prabhu.
and there's zero. There's also zero, Prabhu. You
Yes,
remember zero?
he's
That
joined.
one, I started with him like when I started spirituality from the beginning. Like I started with him. We used to meditate and do yoga like asana. You see those postures
Oh, yes, Prabhu.
before I know about the Hare Krishna. Yeah, but then he's very shy, very shy. Even in school, he finished school without even doing what do you call this prepared speech. He would never stand in front of a class and say something.
Oh,
Always quiet. He's that type.
yeah, that's okay. He will become more active.
He's actually like Pranjal Prabhu. You see how Pranjal is? He'd rather type than say something.
Yeah,
Even
Prabhu needs to preach to him in some quiet way.
yeah, in a quiet way, eh? Because even when he speaks, his voice is so soft, and I'll be coming to him with my loud voice. Every time I'm with him, I'm always speaking. I'm like, you, bruh, you're gonna be intelligent, and I'm gonna be stupid because I'll be talking there, blah blah, and you'll be quiet and you'll be just listening. You are gaining. I'm not gaining anything.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, this is really nice. You get many people there. Now you can cultivate them.
Yes, but then the problem is that I can get them because they also want what finance, you see. So I steal them from the finance stuff,
Yes, Prabhu.
you see, and then they do because in money they sacrifice for everything. If you tell them you have to wake up in the morning, they're like, nah, that's not a problem. You have to eat this.
Yeah.
Because I have a friend who he follows what we do, but then he does not like chant the Hare Krishna. But then you see, because he was asking me about meat, he was like, yeah, man, I've been suspicious that we're not supposed to eat meat because he also believes they are living beings, you see.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, they are living.
He even wakes up in the morning, but then he does meditation.
Or what he
Yeah,
meditates.
yeah, he meditates, the chakras and what. I tried to explain to him, okay, man, leave that stuff, come here. But people who meditate, you'll never just finish them, G. They have a lot of knowledge.
Yes, Prabhu. It's funny to ask that because if they say what that they meditate, I always ask what they meditate on because
Yes,
yeah, they don't
brother.
know either. Their mind is going
They,
left and right, and they say they
yeah,
meditate.
but then they like the things like, okay, the sun, the moon, they'd say that they're meditating, what they have different types of meditations,
Oh,
prana,
yeah.
and then is it prana, the energy one,
Yeah,
where
they
they
meditate
say,
on
okay,
the sun. They see the sun in their mind. Suddenly they see something else, and 5 seconds, then they think of some woman and his dress or something.
yeah.
That's
I
how they
remember there was
meditate.
a quote that was talking about Lord Shiva. Like even Lord Shiva could not resist something while he was meditating. I don't know if it's a woman or what.
Mm.
He also accepted. Because I know, yeah, meditation, I had experience with it because I used to meditate for like 1 hour and 30 minutes sitting there. You'd come, you'd feel that the mind has nothing inside. But then
Yes,
from
bro.
even years of meditation, the mind is still agitated. But then
Yes,
I
bro.
saw that the thing that I was doing actually wrong was the food that we intake.
Yeah, that
Because
also.
immediately when I do something wrong, I can feel the mind comes with bad thoughts. When I listen to wrong music, it comes with such thoughts that are
Yes,
agitating. I was like, oh, actually, there's someone who said you must stand at the doorway of your mind. Because immediately when you sleep, the mind sleeps too.
mm.
But then I saw it's so impossible, Prabhu, to be at the doorstep of your mind because in 24 hours, the mind it wills away with the wind
Yes,
within a
you
second.
gotta pull the mind back.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
But then I understand why in the temple they listen to the Hare Krishna mantra 24 hours. It actually helps because even if the mind moves, because the ear can also listen, you see, and
Yes.
it catches the surrounding.
Speaking of pulling the mind back, you want to read, Prabhu?
Oh, yes, Prabhu. I forgot.
Please
Hey,
start,
guys,
Prabhu.
potatoes, Haribo.
Haribo. Oh,
Thank
should I
you.
start there, Lord Balaram prepared?
Yes,
One
Prabhu.
second to West Prabhu, I'll mute myself.
Yes, Prabhu. I'll be scrolling.
Can I
Prabhu,
start?
yes, Prabhu, please, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Lord Balaram prepared himself to meet the demon Balavala. Is it Balavala? At,
Balwal.
at the time, sorry, Balaval.
Balwal.
Balaval. Am I saying it correctly? Balaval.
Yes,
At
Prabhu.
the At the time when the demon usually attacked the sacred place, there appeared a great hailstorm. The whole sky became covered with dust, and the atmosphere became surcharged with a filthy smell. Just after this, the mischievous demon Balaval began to shower torrents of stool and urine and other impure substances on the arena of sacrifice. After this onslaught, the demon himself appeared with a great trident in his hand. He was a gigantic person, and his black body was like a huge mass of carbon. His hair, his beard, and his most most what mustache, is it mustache, appeared reddish. Mustache appeared reddish like copper, and because of his great beard and mustache, his mouth appeared to be very dangerous and fierce. As soon as he saw the demon, Lord Balaram prepared to attack him. He first began to consider how he could smash the great demon to pieces. Lord Balaram called for his plow and club, and they immediately appeared before him. The demon Balaval was flying in the sky, and at the first opportunity, Lord Balaram dragged him down with his plow and angrily smashed the demon's head with his club. By Balaram striking the forehead of the demon became fractured, there was a profuse flow of blood from his forehead, and he began to scream loudly. In this way, the demon, who had been such a great disturbance to the pious Brahmanas, fell to the ground. His falling was like a great mountain with a red oxide peak being struck by a thunderbolt and smashed to the ground. The inhabitants of Narasai, Namai, how do you say it, Prabhu?
Repeat after me. Naimi Sharanya.
Naimi Saranya.
Yep.
Learned sages and brahmanas became most pleased by seeing this, and they offered their respectful prayers to Lord Balaram. They offered their heartfelt blessings upon the Lord, and all agreed that Lord Balaram's attempt to do anything would never be a failure. The sage and brahmanas then performed a ceremonial bathing of Lord Balarama, just as King Indra is bathed by the demigods when he is victorious over the demons. The brahmanas and sages honored Lord Krishna, Lord Balaram, by representing him first class, new clothing and ornaments, and the lotus flower garlands of victory, the reservoir of all beauty, which was never to be dried up, being in everlasting existence. After this incident, Lord Balaram took permission from the Brahmanas assembled at Naimi Saranya, and accompanied by other Brahmanas, went to the banks of the river Kausiki. After taking his bath in this holy place, he proceeded towards the river Sarayu, and visited the source of the river. He began to travel on the bank of the Sarayu river, and he gradually reached Prayaga. Okay, where there is a confluence of three rivers, the Ganga, Yamuna, and Sarasvati. Here also he regularly took his bath, worshipped the local temples of God, and as it is enjoyed in the Vedic literatures, offered oblations to the forefathers and sages. He gradually reached the ashram of the sage Pulaha, and from there went to Gandaki on the river Gomati. After this, he took his bath in the river Vipasha. Is it Vipasha? Vipasha. Then gradually he came to the banks of the Sona River. The Sona River is still running as one of the big rivers in the Bihar province. He also took his bath there and performed the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies. He continued his travels and gradually came to the pilgrimage city of Gaya, where there is a celebrated Vishnu temple according to the advice of his father Vasudeva. He offered oblations to the forefathers in this Vishnu temple. From here, he traveled to the delta of the Ganga, where the sacred river Ganga mixes with the Bay of Bengal. This sacred place is called Gangasaraga. Gangasagara. And at the end of January every year, there is still a great assembly of saintly persons and pious men, just as there is an assembly of saintly persons in Paragya every year, which is called the Magaha Mela Fair. After finishing his bathing and ritualistic ceremonies at Gangasagara, something like that, ne Prabhu? Gangasagara.
Yes, Prabhu, Ganga Sagar.
Okay, Paravata. At this place, he met Parasurama, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, and he offered him respect by bowing down before him. After this, he gradually turned towards southern India and visited the banks of the river Godavari. After taking his bath in the river Godavari and performing the necessary ritualistic ceremonies, he gradually visited the other rivers, the Vena, Pampa, and Bimarati. On the bank of the river Bimarati, there is the deity called Swami Kartikeya. Kartikeya. After visiting Kartikeya, Lord Balaram gradually proceeded to Sailapura, and pilgrimage city in the province of Maharashtra. Sailapura is one of the biggest districts in Maharashtra province. He then gradually proceeded towards the Dravidadesha.
Dravid
Is it
Desh.
Dravidesh?
Yep, Dravid Desh.
Dravidesh. Southern India is divided into 5 parts called Pancha Dravida. Northern India is also divided into 5 parts called Panchagora. And the important acharya of the modern age, namely Sankarashaya Ramucharya. Is it Ramucharya?
Ramanujacharya.
Madhavacharya, Vishnu Swami, and Nimbaka advent themselves in these Dravida provinces. Lord Chaitanya appeared in Bengali, which is part of the 5 Gaura Desha. Yeah, Prabhu, someone can continue, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu, I'll continue. Thank you so much for reading. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Haribo.
So the most important place of pilgrimage in southern India or Dravid is Venkatachal, commonly known as Balaji. After visiting this place, Lord Balaram proceeded toward Vishnu Kanchi, and from there he proceeded on the bank of the Kaveri. He took his bath in the river Kaveri. Then he gradually reached Rangakshetra. The biggest temple in the world is in Rangakshetra, and the Vishnu deity there is celebrated as Ranganath. A similar temple of Ranganath is in Vrindavan, although it is not as big as the temple in Rangakshetra. While going to Vishnu Kanchi, Lord Balaram also visited Shiv Kanchi. After visiting Rangakshetra, he gradually proceeded toward Mathura, commonly known as the Mathura of southern India. After visiting this place, he gradually proceeded toward Setubandh. Setubandh is the place where Lord Ramachandra constructed the stone bridge from India to Lanka, Ceylon. In this particular holy place, Lord Balaram distributed 10,000 cows to the local Brahman priests. It is the Vedic custom that when a rich visitor goes to any place of pilgrimage, he gives in charity to the local priests gifts of horses, cows, ornaments, and garments. This system of visiting places of pilgrimage and providing the local Brahman priests with all necessities of life has greatly deteriorated in this age of Kali. The richer section of the population, because of its degradation in Vedic culture, is no longer attracted by these places of pilgrimage. And the Brahman priests who depended on such visitors have also deteriorated in their professional duty of helping the visitors. These Brahman priests in the places of pilgrimage are called Pand or Pandit. This means that they formerly were very learned Brahmanas and used to guide the visitors in all the details of the purpose of coming there. And thus, both the visitors and the priests were benefited by mutual cooperation. It is clear from the description of Srimad Bhagavatam that when Lord Balaram was visiting the different places of pilgrimage, he properly followed the Vedic system. After distributing cows at Setubandh, Lord Balaram proceeded toward the Kritamala and Tamraparni rivers. These 2 rivers are celebrated as sacred, and Lord Balaram bathed in both. He then proceeded toward Malai Hill. This Malai Hill is very great, and it is said that it is one of the 7 peaks called the Malai Hills. The great sage Agastya used to live there, and Lord Balaram visited him and offered his respects by bowing down before him. After taking the sage's blessings, Lord Balaram, with the sage's permission, proceeded toward the Indian Ocean. At the point of the cape, there is a big temple of the goddess Durga, where she is known as Kanyakumari. This temple of Kanyakumari was also visited by Lord Ramachandra, and therefore it is to be understood that the temple has been existing for millions of years. From there, Lord Balaram went on to visit the pilgrimage city known as Phalgun Tirth, which is on the shore of the Indian Ocean or the Southern Ocean. Phalgun Tirth is celebrated because Lord Vishnu, as an incarnation of Anant, is lying there. From Phalgun Tirth, Lord Balaram went on to visit another pilgrimage spot known as Panchapsaras. Panchapsaras. There also he bathed according to the regulated principles and observed the ritualistic ceremonies. This site is also celebrated as a shrine of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Lord Balaram distributed 10,000 cows to the local Brahmin priests. From Cape Comorin, Lord Balaram turned toward Kerala. The country of Kerala is still existing in southern India under the name of South Kerala. After visiting this place, he came to Gokarna Tirth, where Lord Shiva is constantly worshipped. Balaram then visited the temple of Arya Devi, which is completely surrounded by water. From that island, he went on to a place known as Shur, Shurparak. After this, he bathed in the rivers known as Tapi, Payoshni, and Nirvindhya, and he came to the forest known as Dandakaranya. This is the same Dandakaranya forest where Lord Ramachandra lived while he was in exile. Lord Balaram next came to the bank of the river Narmada, the biggest river in central India. On the bank of this sacred Narmada, there is a pilgrimage spot known as Maheshmati Puri. After bathing there, according to regulative principles, Lord Balaram returned to Prabhas Tirth, where from he had begun his journey. When Lord Balaram returned to Prabhas Tirth, he heard from the Brahmanas that most of the Kshatriyas in the battle of Kurukshetra had been killed. Balaram felt relieved to hear that the burden of the world had been reduced. Lord Krishna and Balaram appeared on this earth to lessen the burden of military strength created by the ambitious Kshatriya kings. This is the way of materialistic life. Not being satisfied by the absolute necessities of life, people ambitiously create extra demands and their illegal desires are checked by the laws of nature or by laws of God, appearing as famine, war, pestilence, and similar catastrophes. Lord Balaram heard that although most of the Kshatriyas had been killed, the Kurus were still engaged in fighting. Therefore, he returned to the battlefield just on the day Bhimasen and Duryodhan were engaged in a personal duel. As well-wisher of both of them, Lord Balaram wanted to stop them, but they would not stop. When Lord Balaram appeared on the scene, King Yudhishthir and his younger brothers Nakul, Sahadev, Lord Krishna, and Arjun immediately offered him their respectful obeisances, but they did not speak at all. The reason they were silent was that Lord Balaram was somewhat affectionate toward Duryodhan, and Duryodhan had learned from Balaramji the art of fighting with a club. Thus, when the fighting was going on, King Yudhishthir and others thought that Balaram might come there to say something in favor of Duryodhan, and they therefore remained silent. Both Duryodhan and Bhimasen were very enthusiastic in fighting with clubs, and in the midst of large audiences, each was very skillful, trying to strike the other, and while attempting to do so, they appeared to be dancing. But although they appeared to be dancing, it was clear that both of them were very angry. Lord Balaram, wanting to stop the fighting, said, "My dear king, Duryodhan and Bhimasen, I know that both of you are great fighters and are well known in the world as great heroes, but still I think that Bhimasen is superior to Duryodhan in bodily strength. On the other hand, Duryodhan is superior in the art of fighting with a club. Taking this into consideration, my opinion is that neither of you is inferior to the other in fighting. Under the circumstances, there is very little chance of one of you being defeated by the other. Therefore, I request you not to waste your time in fighting in this way. I wish you to stop this unnecessary fight." The good instruction given by Lord Balaram to both Bhimasen and Duryodhan was intended for the equal benefit of both of them. But they were so enwrapped in anger against each other that they could only remember their long-lasting personal enmity. Each thought only of killing the other, and they did not give much importance to the instruction of Lord Balaram. Both of them then became like madmen in remembering the strong accusations and ill behavior they had exchanged with one another. Lord Balaram, being able to understand the destiny which was awaiting them, was not eager to go further into the matter. Therefore, instead of staying, he decided to return to the city of Dwarka. When he returned to Dwarka, he was received with great jubilation by relatives and friends, headed by King Ugrasen and other elderly persons. All of them came forward to welcome Lord Balaram, and after this, he again went to the holy place of pilgrimage at Naimisharanya, and the sages, saintly persons, and Brahmanas all received him standing. They understood that Lord Balaram, although a Kshatriya, was now retired from the fighting business. The Brahmanas and the sages, who were always for peace and tranquility, were very pleased at this. All of them embraced Balaram with great affection and induced him to perform various kinds of sacrifices in that sacred spot of Naimisharanya. Actually, Lord Balaram had no business performing the sacrifices recommended for ordinary human beings. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he himself is the enjoyer of all such sacrifices. As such, his exemplary action in performing sacrifices was only to give a lesson to the common man to show how one should abide by the injunction of the Vedas. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Balaram instructed the sages and saintly persons at Naimisharanya on the subject matter of the living entity's relationship with this cosmic manifestation, on how one should accept this whole universe, and on how one should relate with the cosmos in order to achieve the highest goal of perfection, the understanding that the whole cosmic manifestation is resting on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is also all pervading, even within the minutest atom, by the function of his Paramatma feature. Lord Balaram then took the Avabhrit bath, which is accepted after finishing sacrificial performances. After taking his bath, he dressed himself in a new silken garment and decorated himself with beautiful jewelry amidst his relatives and friends. He appeared to be a shining full moon amidst the luminaries in the sky. Lord Balaram is the personality of God and Anant himself. Therefore, he is beyond the scope of understanding by mind, intelligence, or body. He descended exactly like a human being and behaved in that way for his own purpose. We can only explain his activities as the Lord's pastimes. No one can even estimate the extent of the unlimited demonstrations of his pastimes because he is all powerful. Lord Balaram is the original Vishnu. Therefore, anyone remembering these pastimes of Lord Balaram in the morning and evening will certainly become a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus his life will become successful in all respects. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 24th chapter of Krishna, the liberation of Balwal, and Lord Balaram's touring sacred places. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Rivo. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Haribo. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Luvesh Prabhu, first.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so tomorrow we're gonna read 25 meeting of Lord Krishna with Sudama Brahmana.
Oh, this is going to be very emotional.
Rivo. Yes,
This
Prabhu.
one's going to be emotional.
Okay, now we go to Sixastakam prayers. चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावादूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतस्वादनं सर्वात्मा स्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम्
नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमितः स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमीदृशमिहा जनिनानुरागः
Trinad api sunichena daro api saheshnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari.
न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवताद्भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि
ऐनन्दतनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजाः तदुलिशतसंविचिन्तया
नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदहृदया गिरा पुलकर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति
Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravishayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahe name.
आश्लेष्य वा पादरतां पिनष्टु माम् अदर्शनम् अदर्शनान्मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातुरम्बटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरः
Glory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It
Oh
increases
my,
transcendental bliss and it enables us it to where am I to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious.
oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. Oh my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them.
One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the store in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful man, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotion, service, birth after birth.
O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal savior, yet somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet.
O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name?
Oh Govinda, feeling a separations, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence.
I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and she shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord unconditionally. Haribo.
Ibo Sri Sixastakam Ki.
Jai.
Yeah, Krishna.
To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy name of the Lord. To consider the name of the demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma to be equal to, or independent of the holy name of the Lord Vishnu. Something I forgot that one.
Disobey the orders of the
And
sister. Consider him as an Ibo.
to blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scriptures in perseverance to the Vedic version.
No.
Yeah.
Or
Isn't it
Like
number 4?
third one, which one? You have tell third one?
Prabhu.
Oh, tell me,
Oh,
Prabhu, didn't you decide it?
okay.
Vivek is like, no.
Continue, Prabhu, continue. You're doing good.
Okay, number 5, to consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination, to give some interpretation of the holy name of the Lord. And then the last one that I know is to commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name.
Yes, Prabhu. To consider chanting of Hare Krishna to be one of the auspicious ritualistic activities mentioned in the Vedas as fruitive activities, karma kanda.
Haribo.
This is
Instructively.
about the
This.
glory.
Okay.
Then do not have
Do not have complete faith on the holy name of the Lord. Complete faith on the Lord. After other it sentence like material attachments increase the material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Inattentive while chanting is also an offense. Like that it comes now.
yes, Prabhu. Every
Do not.
one.
Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success. Krishna Prema. Vancha.
विवेक प्रभु की जय, लेबहान पंडित की जय, हरि बोल।
Haribo.
हरे कृष्णा।
Hare Krishna
Thank you
Prabhu.
for your precious association, Prabhus.
Thank you,
Hare Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much
Jai
for
Shri
the kind
Prabhupada.
association.
Jai